Let's now move on and let's talk about the other big story of the day. The chaos that unfolded earlier during the day on the streets of South Mumbai, bringing life to a standstill. And all this because of a political protest. The Aam Aadmi had to bear the brunt of politics between two political parties. To put things in perspective, let us tell you what exactly happened. 500 Congress workers had taken to streets and were protesting. Netas were seen walking towards South Mumbai. Workers clocked thin roads of Mumbai. Protest inconvenienced Mumbaikars for a few hours, and that too in the morning. There was huge traffic jam that was reported early morning today in South Mumbai. Traffic jam was reported for over 2 hours. Protesters, in fact, reached the site at around 9 a.m. That's what we are being told. They were all taken off the road around 12:40 only in the afternoon. Vehicular movement gradually was restored only post 12:40. The protest by Congress party was against the comments made by Prime Minister in the budget session about how Congress was responsible for the spread of COVID across India. Netas must be blamed for the kind of inconvenience that the common man had to face. But how is it justified to block people from their everyday routine of travel and hold a protest that inconveniences people? How is there zero accountability towards taxpayers justified? That's our big debate tonight on Mirror Now on Urban Debate. In case you too were stuck in such a situation this morning, you can call us and share with us your experience, what you had to go through. The numbers are flashing at the bottom of your screen. Let's straight away now go across to my guests who are joining us live this evening. Shaina NC, spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Raju Wagmare, spokesperson of the Congress Party and General Secretary of Maharashtra Congress, Krishna Hegde, former MLA and from Shiv Sena right now, Dilip Cherian, who is an image guru, citizen voice here on the show. We also have with us Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS and Central Information Commissioner. I appreciate all of you for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening. Dr. Raju Wagmare, I want to begin the discussion with you. So political protest there caused inconvenience to the people of Mumbai. How is this justified, sir? A ruling party holding a protest in a state, in the state of Maharashtra, in Mumbai specifically, and causing inconvenience, that too on a Monday morning.
See, first of all, the protest that we called, that is to insulting our Maharashtra, where the Mumbai is in that Maharashtra only. When somebody like a prime minister who sits on a constitutional post and he talk and insult about Maharashtrian culture, he talk completely lies. He gives all the false propositions in front of people, and the people from BJP who stays in this Maharashtra says nothing to their leaders. So we have to come forward and protest to this kind of the things which going on by spreading lies in a country. The people who are sitting on a constitutional post.
But then, sir, you were causing inconvenience to the people of Mumbai. How is that justified, Dr. Wagmare?
What we are telling the truth or not?
This caused inconvenience to the people of Mumbai. Just see the visuals, sir, that we have for our viewers right now. There was massive traffic jam in South Mumbai, Dr. Wagmare.
Not taken properly by the central government, and that is especially by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And when this kind of behavior the Prime Minister does.
Okay, I don't think Dr. Wagmare is able to hear me.
And show the
we will try and reconnect his line because I have a few questions for him. Because he is trying to today justify the protest. Dilip Cherian, is this justified? You heard the explanation that the Congress representative gave us just now. Is this justified? Can the people of Mumbai be inconvenienced like this? I mean, you know, politicians will do politics. That's fine. They have every right to hold protests, but not at the cost of people. They are people's representatives.
They have no right to cause any disruption to daily life of citizens of any city. That is a ground rule. Do politicians listen to it? The answer is no, they don't. Are there rules that govern it? The answer is there are rules. If you want to hold a public protest, there are designated sites which hopefully will ensure that there is no chaos of traffic confusion right through a city. Mumbai as a city is particularly vulnerable to traffic chaos of this kind. And as a ruling party, they should have planned it better. And the people of the state, more importantly, the people of the city, need to make sure that their voice is heard. The fact is that this is now becoming regular. As you all know, on Sunday, you had the president's cavalcade create an hour-long set of disruptions to traffic. So I think that given the sensitivity with which Mumbai traffic reacts to even small changes in the flow of traffic, I think the traffic police, the police of Mumbai, law and order, needs to be maintained and to make sure that it is minimum disruption, even whether it's a VIP movement or whether it's some protest to laud the virtues of the state and protest about the Prime Minister's insult to the state. I think that there is no justification whatsoever for any politician or any official to create anything that becomes a hindrance, a roadblock, or a speed breaker to the normal life of a city that is limping back to normal after COVID. So it's particularly not good to have got it done on a Monday morning. I would say this is unacceptable.
Unacceptable. That's what Dilip Cherian says. Dr. Raju Wagmare is back with us. Sir, that was the point that I was trying to make earlier. There are designated sites for protest. And here we have a situation that in the maximum city in Mumbai, ruling party is causing inconvenience to the people. How is this justified, sir?
See, the moment the things that the Prime Minister says about the state, the people who are staying in this state, they should have some pride of this state. When somebody is insulting our state so much, and we just have to sit quiet because it will not inconvenient to people. Why? When such things happen, we have to come on a street and show that we cannot be tolerated.
The politicians are people's representatives. They take up issues of the people. Can it be at the cost of causing inconvenience to people is my simple question. I am not questioning your intention here. I am not really raising any questions on the reasons behind your protest, Dr. Wagmare. My question is very, very simple. Why should that be a cause of inconvenience to the people of Mumbai? You please answer my simple question.
See, the simple question is, we are people representatives, so we are the people from Maharashtra, we are representing them. And somebody is insulting Maharashtra, how you want us to keep quiet and sit at home and say that, oh, because of inconvenience, we should not come on the street. We have to come on the street and show the world, show the country that how the Prime Minister is lying and how the Prime Minister is insulting our state.
To show
we have
the world,
to show that,
show the country that you are feeling insulted. Nobody is questioning that. There are designated sites for protest, Dr. Wagmare. Why cause inconvenience to the people of Mumbai is my very, very simple question. I'll go across to my other guests as well. Shaina wants to respond quickly. Yes, Shaina.
Firstly, I don't understand what the Congress party is objecting to. The Honorable Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of this country. He has made a comment on how we have fought COVID collectively and how everyone cooperated. When it came to migrant labours, there were certain states that did not, and that's all he has said. Now, in 1997, the Bombay High Court has directed that all protests should be confined to Azad Maidan. I want to ask the Congress party, do they adhere to that? Did the Congress party even obtain prior police permission to organize this protest? Absolutely not. If no prior police permission is sought by any agitating group, it could be the BJP or any others, then I think we need to understand that agitators who don't choose to be in areas, whether it's Azad Maidan or whether it's August Kranti Maidan, then the police has to take absolute cognizance of the situation. I live on the same road where this protest and where Honorable Devendra Fadnavis lives. And I can tell you the whole road was blocked, both sides. Forget the inconvenience to citizens who are in a position to probably walk out of the particular area and move through public transportation. But the inconvenience to people in South Mumbai, where 2 hours, everything was jam-packed. And it was traffic at bumper to bumper, inconvenience to the taxpayer. And if the protesters prefer to take permission from the Mumbai Police Headquarters, which is the government that you belong to, sir, I find this very, very unconventional to create a law and order problem where people are, asked to be inconvenienced because you have not understood what the Honorable Prime Minister is saying. And please understand, this is not the first time.
Okay.
There have been traffic snarls in the
That's
past.
an important point. Shaina NC has made a quick response, Dr. Wagmare. Then I'll go across to my other guests as well. There was bumper-to-bumper traffic for about 2 hours. It's Monday morning. People have to step out of their homes at that time when you started your protest at 9 a.m. in the morning. Did you even have the permission to do so?
They didn't.
The first of
Dr.
all,
Wagmare, please
when
respond.
the China NC is talking about the BJP thing, last two years, China NC's party BJP has been doing protest everywhere in Mumbai and all other places in Maharashtra. Did they take any permission? They did not came on a street and do the protest.
So does that give you
They did
the license to
They
also
never
hold
went.
protest and cause inconvenience to the people of Mumbai? Sir, does that give you the license to also hold protest on the road and cause inconvenience for the people of Mumbai?
No,
is that a license that you have got? Yashowardhan Azad, I want to come to you. Shaina, 1 second. Yashowardhan Azad, sir, I want to come to you 1 second. Does it get difficult for police to manage if the protest is by the members of the ruling party?
I wish you had given all the participants, one round of opening remarks for a minute, so that many of these arguments which are coming now later wouldn't have come about after the individual, parameters.
Okay.
Now, the question is that in this particular case, when Bombay is a capital which runs for about 24 hours all the time on the move, and on Monday blues, if you have a traffic block for 3 hours, it's absolutely ridiculous, as Dilip says. There is no question of allowing any kind of a protest which blocks and inconveniences the people. But the issue lies deeper, because if a ruling coalition member decides to behave with responsibility, you can't do anything about that. And let me tell you, why I say that the problem is deeper is for the simple reason that when the ruling government let loose their, party workers on the streets to protest about something, it's really a very, very stupid thing to do. And today I'll tell you, again, another thing which Dilip said rightly is that in Bombay, the president's cavalcade held up the traffic again for 1.5 hours, whereas we have suggested all the time that the heli drop should be used. Now, these are things which cannot be, addressed unless you have some kind of unanimity between the various political parties that police has some kind of autonomy in cases like this. And unless you have a police leadership which is immune from various kinds of pressures, Bombay, of course, has suffered after the Bombay Police Act, Section 4 was changed in 1987. So after that, Bombay has been continuously in trouble. And I will say to reiterate my point that this is something which the police should not have allowed. The Supreme Court had said that even
They
the
didn't take police permission.
They should not have public. And in this case, the same rule should have applied.
They did not take police permission.
Okay, police should not have allowed. That's what you are saying. Okay. There was no police permission as well. Let me quickly go across to Krishna Hegde as well, who's been patiently waiting here. He's from Shiv Sena. So, do you approve of this kind of a behavior by Congress party, which is your partner in Maha Vikas Aghadi government in Maharashtra?
Firstly, we don't want to get into what the Congress did and why they did it, but we have to look at the reasons of why they did this. If the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji blames the state for the spread of COVID.
But sir, today my focus is the people of Mumbai. I'm sorry, sir. Today my focus is the people of Mumbai and the inconvenience that was caused because of the protest. No, I'm not going into the. I'm not doubting your intentions. I'm not doubting the intentions of the Congress party here and the Congress spokesperson here. My problem today is the inconvenience that the people had to face today, sir.
Let me complete what I have started. Now this is very selective. The BJP had protests in all over Mumbai. They had it on the 27th of Jan. They had it today morning. They had it on 3rd October. They had it on 10th October. They had it 3 years ago against the Congress.
It is your government in Maharashtra. You have every right to stop them.
No, 5th August.
Sir, it is your government in Maharashtra. You have every right to stop them. Today, my focus is the inconvenience that was caused this Monday morning.
I'm not endorsing.
No, I'm not being selective here. I'm asking you a straight question, sir. It is your government in Maharashtra. It is your government in Maharashtra, sir. You have every right to stop every protest.
Let me complete. What the Prime Minister said about the spread of COVID in Maharashtra, we must ask the Prime Minister this. Like, who was responsible for the spread of COVID in India? Who invited Donald Trump to the Motera Stadium?
Sir, you, Shiv Sena, Congress Party, NCP, everybody has got a right to protest. There are designated sites where you can go and hold your protest, sir.
Who gave permission
No,
for the Mela?
Here I'm not discussing what your protest was about because I'm not questioning it at all. No, Mr. Hegde, I'm not going to allow this. I'm not questioning what was the protest about. No, I'm not getting into this. My question today is very simple. Sir, one second. My question today is about the people of Mumbai who were inconvenienced today. There are designated sites of protest, like Mr. Dilip Cherian also mentioned.
When the BJP does it all over the country and violates the COVID protocol, the people
Sir,
of the country,
I am not justifying anybody's protest to stop any political party. I am not justifying.
Are you telling me that in a democracy...
Okay, Mr. Hegde,
No, please
I am not saying anything to you, sir. I am not saying anything to you. I had asked a direct question. Sir, no, I am not saying. My focus is how the people of Mumbai were inconvenienced today. For Mirror Now, it is people first, sir. That is the focus of our debate tonight. We are not having a discussion on why you were protesting. Our focus is the inconvenience that it caused to the people of Mumbai. One at a time. I have two viewers joining us. One second, Mr. Hegde, one second. I have two viewers as well joining us. Like I said in the beginning, it's a show for the people of this country, and people are now calling us as well to share their views. Let's also hear what the people have to say. Mr. Hegde, I'll come to you after that. Sir, I'll come to you. Bear with me. I'll come to you straight after that, after listening to what the viewers have to say. Ravi is joining us from Bengaluru this evening. Ravi, good evening. Thank you for calling us here on Mirror Now. What is it that you will like to say?
Very much for giving me a chance to speak out. I think this is always a very big nonsense and nuisance which is happening. People block roads in the form of strike, in the form of processions and other things. I would say that, like the IPS officer who said just now, there is a designated place where you have to do a strike. You have to. The problem is all these politicians are hand in glove. If they go to a designated park or designated ground and do a procession or do a strike there, it does not affect the common people. So if it does not affect the common people, they think that the strike is not fruitful. So this is what is their problem, and everybody is in hand in glove. There is a Supreme Court judgment which says that go and protest in your designated sites because it's a fundamental right for you to protest. But I don't know why people are not adhering to it. I mean, This is they don't understand what is the law. There is a flower seller. There is a person on the footpath who is selling idlis whose livelihood is spoiled for one full day. You can't understand that if he does not earn that 500 rupees a day, he cannot go home and eat. I mean, who is caring about these people?
Well, absolutely. You've made a very valid point, Ravi. I really appreciate you joining us here on Mirror Now and sharing with us your perspective. Let's also hear from Nitin, who is Western India Automobile Association Chairman from Mumbai, also joining us on the broadcast this evening. Nitin, thank you for calling us here on Mirror Now. What is it that you will like to say?
Yeah, I would like to say that why you're holding us to ransom. This is the office time. We are going to office. The Honorable High Court has said you go in Azad Maidan. I think Sena and Mr. Azad also said, I agree with them fully. Whatever you want to do, whatever protest, why you are saying BJP did this? Why you are saying Congress did this? You are the ruling party. You could have stopped BJP. You could have stopped anybody. If you, as a ruling party, are going to hold us to ransom,
No,
we are
please
not
don't
going to
be
accept that.
selective on this. We are not endorsing what happened today. We are not endorsing what happened today, but you cannot be selective on this.
All right,
We have
Mr.
to
Nitin, thank you very much for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening. Now, I want Dr. Raju Wagmare and Krishna Hegde to respond. Dr. Raju Wagmare first. These were the people of this country, and this is what the people have to say about the inconvenience that, Congress party's workers caused to the people of Mumbai on a Monday morning, sir.
See, I understand what the people are saying, but you have to understand the Congress did not get up from every day or every comments that what Prime Minister or BJP says, and we came on a street and we hold people for ransom. When the depth of the insult, the depth of the undemocratic way the Prime Minister
Dr. Wagmare,
is
the
talking
question
about
remains the
that
same. Nobody
itself
is doubting your
caused so much
intention
pain.
here.
So
Nobody
that
is
time,
questioning.
the
Nobody
people-
is saying, why
people
did you hold a
came
protest?
on a street.
That's not the question,
when
Dr. Wagmare.
this
I think you're
kind of
missing the
things
point
Prime
here.
Minister does,
Dr. Wagmare,
he
you're
has
missing
to
the crucial
apologize
point here.
to the
Shaina
state.
NC wants to come in, then
We
Krishna
cannot
Hegde.
hear or
See,
we cannot
if-
agree that
Not
anybody
at the
can
cost of
insult
people,
our
sir.
Maharashtra.
Not at the cost of
We
people of
cannot
Mumbai. I'm
agree
sorry.
on that.
Shaina,
come
quick
in now,
response.
please?
Minister or whoever it may
Look,
be.
the
Dr.
Congress-
Wagmare, one at a time,
Insult
please. Dr. Wagmare.
who
The
cannot
Congress
insult our
members
state.
Dr.
have
Wagmare,
clearly
you've
lost.
made your point.
And
Now,
if
either
they
you
got
mute him
little
and listen to me
inconvenience,
or
it's
let him
okay, but
continue.
this
Shaina,
is
only
for
Shaina
the
is going to
pride of
speak.
Maharashtra.
Dr.
They have
Wagmare,
to
you've made
understand
your
the
point. Let
pride of
Shaina now
Maharashtra.
speak.
If they are staying in
The
this
Congress
Dr.
members
Wagmare,
have
one second.
totally
Sir,
lost
you've made your point.
the Congress members have totally lost the plot. The Honorable Prime Minister has not insulted the Maharashtra government. He had only made a comment when it came to migrant labor in view of the first wave of COVID-19. Now, if that's such a grave situation for them, they could have very well taken police permission and agitated at Azad Maidan or August Kranti Maidan. They chose not to even take police permission. They chose to come out and inconvenience Mumbaikars right from Burli to Babulnath to Nepensi Road. The kind of traffic one saw, the kind of inconvenience to public at large, who they seem to be saying they're representing, only proves they are not Maha Vikas Agadi, but Maha Vinash Agadi. Because if this kind of lawlessness continues, where your own administration doesn't know how to respond to you because you haven't taken permissions, you haven't done any protocol as you should have, and only inconvenience is to the citizen and the taxpayers, then BJP is well within its purview.
That's the point. That's an
react.
important point you're raising, Shaina NC. How can a ruling party be part of disruption of public life? And that's the reason where we're having this discussion today. Dr. Wagmare still wants to respond, but before that,
No,
I
I
have two
would like
more
to
viewers
respond on
joining
this.
us on the broadcast. Let's hear what they have to say. No, Dr. Wagmare. Okay. Mr. Hegde also wants to respond. Mr. Azad also wants to respond. Let's quickly hear what the people have to say. Then I'll come across to you all. Abdul Karim joining us from Kolkata this evening. Good evening, Abdul Karim. Thank you for calling us here on Mirror Now. What is it that you want to say?
Yeah, good evening. My name is, I am a doctor. I am Dr. Abdul Karim. And yesterday I have paid 2.75
Yes,
lakhs
Dr.
of
Karim.
income tax. Today morning I was in Bombay and I got the sad news of my mother having expired at Guwahati. And as per our religious customs, we are supposed to do the last rites by the end of the day. And my auto person, he got stuck in traffic. And the thing is, I missed my flight. I'm now stuck up in Kolkata, and I miss seeing even the face of my mother. Now the thing is, this across the political parties, this gentleman, he has got the backside, the photo of Bhimrao Ambedkar ji, which article in the Constitution, where has Dr. Ambedkar told that you can, stop a person like this? Second thing is, innumerable times across other parties, they have broken the glasses and damaged vehicles. Other parties have done that. Which thing in the Constitution, which constitutional body has told that you take away the bread and butter of a poor man who comes from far away and take away his daily bread and butter. You have every right to protest. Please protest, but don't make life of common citizen miserable. Understand that their tax and their great effort makes you a leader what
You're
you are
absolutely
today.
right, Dr. Abdul Karim, and we are really sorry for your loss. But I really appreciate you calling us here on Mirror Now and telling us what you had to go through. Sunil is joining us from Mumbai as well. Sunil, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Mirror Now. What is it that you would like to say?
Good evening, ma'am. I just want to know if these people, these political parties, they hold protest and inconvenience and causes inconvenience to the Aam Aadmi or the citizen. Nobody is accountable. The same thing if a Aam Aadmi or a common citizen, if he holds a protest for some reason, the law, the order absolutely comes into force and he's just taken away. But there is no law and order for these political people. It may be any political people, but this is not done. How can you hold? Suppose if I was there in the traffic jam for 1.5 hours. Fortunately, there was no emergency at my end, and there was an ambulance behind me which was just standing idle. Come on, yeah, you cannot hold anyone at ransom for your own small whimsical reasons. It is not done.
Sunil, thank you very much, Sunil, for calling us here on Mirror Now and telling us what you had to go through this morning. Now, Krishna Hegde, will you now like to apologize to these people who were inconvenienced today because of the protest by Congress party?
No, I am very sorry for doctor's loss. He lost his mother. I am extremely sorry for his loss. But having said that, I must tell you that I am also sensitive to the migrant workers problem which happened in Mumbai. And when the Prime Minister mentioned the migrant workers in Parliament, he forgot to mention that he gave them a 2 days window and told them that after this, they are going to have no work for the next few months. And then when they were traveling back to their villages,
sir,
there was
let
no
me repeat once again.
No
sir, let me repeat my question once again. Are you then giving a license to anybody in Mumbai to protest anywhere that person feels like if the cause is valid? No. Simple question. I am not questioning your cause here at all. Like I mentioned earlier as well, sir, I am not questioning your cause. I am not doubting your intention. I am not questioning your cause. I am not doubting your intention, Mr. Hegde. Mr. Hegde, are you then giving a license to the people of Mumbai to come to the streets, protest anywhere they feel like? If it is a valid and a solid cause?
And if the Congress
is that what you and Mr. Dr. Wagmare trying to suggest?
Come out to protest, it is because we are sensitive for the people's needs. And if we are
First
seeing
of
that
all,
lot of infrastructure
you have to understand,
hubs have gone out of Mumbai.
the people who came on a street, they are also Aam Party,
and then we have to take this issue up. And the Prime Minister cannot come in the Parliament and start lying about migrant workers. And he cannot insult the people of Maharashtra. Let us be very clear on this. The Prime Minister has to speak the truth in Parliament. And that is what we are protesting. You cannot be selective about saying that we stopped the traffic
Mr. Azad,
in Mumbai,
you wanted to come in. You heard what the people have to say. You heard what Congress and the Shiv Sena has to say. Again, trying to justify that we had a valid cause. Nobody is questioning that, sir.
I'm not trying to justify what the Congress did. I'm not endorsing what the Congress did. But I am telling you what...
Mr. Azad wants to come into the debate.
Any discussion of this kind always results in political wrangling from both sides and without giving any solution. I'm so glad you called the members of the public to vent their frustration and to give out. And one of them gave some excellent ideas that no protest is successful unless people are troubled. And this is not only in this city, but almost all over the country. It's an amazing thing that by disrupting public life, the political parties think that their success has been measured, which is absolutely wrong. I don't even think that this helps in vote politics by troubling the public. And therefore, it is very unfortunate because still you have one of the points which was made is that BJP also indulges in protests. But if you are a member of the ruling coalition, you have a right to regulate them and regulate yourself. And I think there is no excuse in this case. I go totally by the fact that people were troubled, and this kind of thing should not be repeated. And unless all parties get together on this, no solution will be found.
Absolutely, and that's the reason why today we have representatives, from the BJP, from the Shiv Sena, and from the Congress party to tell us. But unfortunately, what we are seeing is that at least the representatives of Congress as well as Shiv Sena are continuously trying to justify the cause for which they were protesting, and not even feeling sorry for the people who were stuck in traffic for over 90 minutes, and that's really shocking. Requesting all of you to stay on with us. We have another viewer joining us. Ruben is joining us from the United States of America. Ruben, thank you for calling us here on Mirror Now. What is it that you would like to say?
Well, I've lived in Bombay for 30 years, but now I live in the U.S. in Oklahoma. I'm just watching the news, and it's so sad. The political parties take people for granted, and it's so inconvenient. And I know it has got no relevance, but elsewhere this hijab issue and putting people, the schools have started, and as it is, people are so stressed with this COVID, and we are just trying to get into some sort of normalcy, and especially the ruling party involving in such tactics. It's very pathetic. It's very pathetic. I wish there was a ban on something like this, so that people can, return to normal life. There are so many
Mr.
children
Ruben,
now.
I'm just interrupting you there. You live in the U.S. today. Can you tell our viewers if in the U.S. anyone can protest anywhere in the city specifically you live in?
No, sir. No, ma'am. You cannot even make a noise. You cannot even make a noise. You'll be arrested immediately. No, you cannot protest. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
I
Thank you very much for calling us here on Mirror Now this evening. Okay, Dr. Wagmare wants to respond. Now, the point still remains the same, sir. It is about the inconvenience that you cause to the people of Mumbai, and that too on a Monday morning. Again, I'm reiterating, nobody is questioning the cause here. Nobody is questioning the reason why you are protesting, sir. You have every right to protest, just like the BJP. But can the ruling party cause inconvenience to the people?
See, the whole people has to understand one thing. The political party has also the people who are staying in this state, staying in this country. The political party also has Aam Aadmi. They are like a common man in political parties. And when the common man
But are you sorry for causing inconvenience to the people?
So deep.
Are you sorry for causing inconvenience to the people? You heard what the people had to say who were impacted because of your protest this morning. Are you feeling sorry today? Will you like to apologize to them?
When 500 people want to protest, have you inconvenienced 50 lakh people is the question.
First of all,
500 people can't inconvenience
you have to understand
50
one
lakh
thing.
people.
We feel
Dilip Cherian, one second, sir. Sir, 1 second. Dr. Wagmare, will you like to apologize to the people of Mumbai today? Straight question, sir. Will you like to apologize? Are you sorry, yes or no? Dr. Wagmare, are you sorry today? You heard what the people had to say. Somebody was stranded for about 90 minutes.
You want me to say or no? Please let me finish. Please let me finish. The inconvenience of the people in Mumbai that our president felt, Mr. Nana Patole, so we stopped the protest. Otherwise, our protest would have been long gone. So we consider the people's pain. We consider the people's...
The people should be thankful to you that you stopped the protest. People were only inconvenient for 2 hours. I'm appalled today. Dilip Cherian wants to come in. Dilip Cherian wants to come in.
We have to show them that the Prime Minister is lying to the country. Prime Minister is lying.
Dr. Wagmare, now please listen to what others are also saying. Please listen to the citizens' voice here, sir.
There is no question that you have every right to protest about what the Prime Minister said. There is no justification for that. But equally, just as there is
Thank
no
you, thank you.
justification for the BJP to protest on the streets, and I'm emphasizing on the streets, the main point is that for 500 people to protest, 50 lakh people or more were put to inconvenience. And that is the kind of imbalance that politicians like to thrust on ordinary citizens. You could certainly have protested outside Mr. Fadnavis's house, but you didn't need to block traffic all along the way, except to make the point, as it were. And this point is not the point that the 50 lakh people who were inconvenienced want to hear from you. Certainly, the 500 people who want to gather outside the former chief minister's house have every right to protest. Please protest. Ideally, you should be listening to the courts and protesting where you are allowed to. But if you want to protest outside his house, don't block the road. Let business and human beings continue. Let no crisis and let no trouble happen to ordinary citizens. By all means, protest. We have the right to protest. And I think in a democracy, we all respect the right to protest, but not when it inconveniences a very large number of people.
Right. That's an important point that you've made. In fact, I have a few more viewers now joining us on the broadcast. Let's hear
Everyone
from them.
seems to forget the Bombay High Court
Okay.
elections of
Shaina, 10
it
seconds,
is
very
trying to
quickly.
show
Shaina,
that
10
it
seconds
happened
only.
first time in
Very
Mumbai,
quickly, I think
that
everyone
Congress
seems to
protested
forget
the whole Mumbai
the Bombay
stopped.
High Court
This kind of
directive,
protest
which
happen
says in
Mumbai all the
1997 that if you
One
want
at
to
a time,
protest,
please. I'm giving time to everyone. I'm giving equal time to everyone.
You are
Shaina,
not
10
actually.
seconds, then my viewers, and then I'll come back to my guests.
no, but where is the
I'm
responsibility
not. I'm
as
giving all the time
as
to
a
you, sir.
political
You're only
party?
justifying the
One
cause.
second. As a political party, where is the responsibility? In 1997, the Bombay High Court has clearly said that you cannot protest anywhere except Azad Maidan. And if you choose to, you have to take the legitimate police permission. And the irony of the situation is, this is the government that is in power and is going against its own police force, creating a law and order situation, inconveniencing the taxpayer, and suggesting that they want an apology. There are other ways of asking for a point, if you have a viewpoint, by adhering to the rule of law and raising a legitimate question, if you so believe that it is such a big issue. I think our Prime Minister did not single out or did not even mention the Maharashtra state government, but just talked about
let me reiterate, Shaina, I am not discussing the cause here. My focus today is the people of Mumbai. So I don't know whether their cause was right, wrong. I'm not getting into it. I have two more viewers joining us. Then I'll go across to Mr. Hegde and then Mr. Azad. Sriram joining us from Mumbai this evening. Good evening, Sriram. Thank you for calling us here on Mirror Now. What is it that you would like to say?
See, I have only 3 points to say. One is I want to ask these two politicians who are justifying
very
the point
quickly
that they had to protest. My question is, how do they measure the success of their protest? Jitna taklif public ko hoga, is that the success 100%? That is point number one. Another gentleman said that, we understood that, yes, people are getting inconvenienced, so we stopped the protest. Isn't it a no-brainer thing that it's a Monday? It's absolutely, in the peak of the hours, you're doing this so that people will get inconvenienced. I mean, does anyone need to tell them, or they have to realize it in between the protest? Third thing, there are so many things that the middle class people undergo in the city. Do we have a voice there? Can we go ahead and protest? No, right? So why do you guys disturb our lives when we don't disturb your lives? That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sriram, for joining us here on Mirror Now. Krishna Hegde, please respond now.
First of all, I would like to say that no one protests without a reason. Secondly, if China is saying that the Supreme Court rules and the verdicts of the High Court, is that only for the Congress, Shiv Sena and NCP and not for the BJP? I'm going to ask her, even that adheres to the BJP. Why don't they follow Supreme Court and High Court directions? The third thing is,
so, Mr. Hegde, let me again ask you a question that I asked you earlier. If you are again convinced about your cause, if you're justifying your cause again, are you giving me a license now that anybody in Mumbai has got a right to protest anywhere that person feels like?
You're not allowing me to speak. Firstly, I have been
but then I don't want you to give me an explanation about the cause. I'm not discussing the cause here, sir.
That we do not want to get into what the Congress did, and we are not endorsing or disendorsing what they did. But I am going to tell you that what is the reason of the protest. if you keep humiliating the people of Maharashtra, if you keep removing financial institutions from here, if you keep removing the shipping hubs from the city and from the state, and if you want to have a very stepmotherly behavior towards Maharashtra, the reaction is going to be spontaneous.
Well, that's about the political issues that you have with the BJP. I really don't want to get into all of that. Mr. Azad, like I promised, I want to give you 10 seconds. I'm completely out of time, sir. Closing comments, please.
Not by BJP. Will the BJP apologize?
This debate...
Mr. Azad, last 10 seconds. Closing comments, sir.
Yeah. This debate, as expected, is meandering around the same point again and again, and all the politicians have agreed that all of them violate the rules and the protocol. The second point, which a very important point made by the from the public was that, by the time the protesters were removed, the damage had already been done. And that is why the most important thing to note is that the police action was very, very late. Why was the police action late? Because it was under the ruling coalition which was organizing the protest. So we have to mark this and we have to see that this does not be repeated.
All right. All right. Important point you've raised, sir, but I'm completely out of time. I appreciate all of you for joining us here on Urban Debate this evening. Thank you very much for our viewers as well, to our viewers for calling us. With this, we will slip into a very, very short break, but there's lots lined up for you on the other side as well. Stay with us.